Hey guys, it's me, Tina Marie with Tina's World. So today's video is going to be a lot different. It's about a post that I made on my Instagram, TMR2886. So I wanted to talk about the verdict from the Bohan case, Bohan Jean. And I've been following this case the entire time because I am in Texas as well. And I've been following this like crazy and following all the stories, actually watching the trial because the trial was streamed. So you could watch the trial, you could watch the sentencing, you could watch everything. And I watched it, okay? And I'm going to get one thing out the way, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I learned about all this. First of all, her name, Amber, whoever her name is irrelevant because to me, she's just a murderer. I'm happy she was found guilty of murder because that's what she did. It wasn't a crime of passion. It wasn't manslaughter. She murdered someone. So I'm glad she got convicted of murder. Do I agree with 10 years? I don't agree with 10 years, but here in Texas, the way it works, a lot of people think the judge makes the decision. Not in Texas. In Texas, the jury decides. And I don't know if you guys know, but 80% of the jury were minorities. They were not Caucasian, they were minorities. And I'm thinking, the thinking behind that was, we give her 10 years, she won't try to appeal the murder conviction. Because if she appeals the murder conviction, they grant a new trial, and she gets a new trial, she could get a jury of majority Caucasians, and they can drop the charge completely, and it's like she never did nothing at all. So I'm thinking that was the mindset behind the jury, that who's really going to fight a 10-year murder sentence. They're going to do their time, they're going to go, because they don't want to get a retrial and then end up getting another minority jury and then getting 99 years. They don't want to take that risk. So I think they did that to make the charges stick and have her forever labeled as a murderer. That is my thoughts. And being a murderer, it's hard to get jobs. It's hard to get jobs with a felony, one felony, a misdemeanor, let alone being a murderer. It's going to be even harder to find anything, which I really don't care if she ever finds a job. Ain't my problem. But yeah, a lot of people were saying that she was paid, like she paid off people. This lady has no money. Her mother can't even afford her medication. Her mother was on the stand like her mother didn't even want to be there. Her aunt got on the stand and said that they lived a lot of time in Oak Cliff. If y'all know anything about Dallas, Oak Cliff is the hood. Oak Cliff is where Yellow Beezy comes from. It's the hood, and you ain't living in there and got a lot of money unless you selling drugs. And her family ain't selling drugs, okay? So her family ain't pay off nobody because they broke. Like when her aunt got off the stand, her aunt was ready to go. She was ready to go. She said, "Can I go?" And the judge and them let her leave because she didn't want to be there. She did not want anything to do with it. You could tell on her family's face that her family really didn't want too much to do with it at all. And that was crazy to me. But she got her 10 years. I'm happy she was convicted of murder. A lot of people aren't happy that she only got 10 years, but I am kind of happy that she's not going to probably appeal this because she doesn't want to take the risk of getting more years. So I'm happy that she'll be forever labeled as a murderer. That's what I'm happy about. Now let's talk about what we should have took from this case. I was extremely upset, especially towards the end when they said 10 years. I could have just punched something. I swear I could have. But then something happened. His brother went to the stand. His brother, because you have to listen to what the family has to say in the end. He spoke for the family. And he said, "I forgive you," on national television. Okay? Said, "I forgive you." Someone, sorry guys, I don't have my tripod thing. Someone that murdered your brother. You walked up to this, you told this lady, "I forgive you." And then said, "This is what my brother will want you to do. Give your life to God. Become new. Become a new person and become a better person and walk with God. That's what my brother would have wanted. Do y'all see how powerful that statement is? Do y'all see how powerful it is? And then he asked the judge, basically begged her, can I hug her? And in that moment, I felt Bohan was in the room. I swear. In that moment, I felt he was in the room. I felt God. I felt Holy Spirit. I felt we have seen something that this world has not seen in a long time. And that is the art of forgiveness. We go around holding on to so much stuff, like so much unforgiving and so much hatred in our heart. And that's why we don't get nowhere as people. And not just saying as black people, no, as people, period. We don't get anywhere because we hold on to so much pain, hurt, and everything. And he said, no, that ain't what my brother want for my family. And after all this went down, you know, the judge went and hugged the family, talked to the family. She went back to her chambers, got a Bible. Everybody want to take a picture of the judge hugging the murderer, but y'all didn't see when the judge handed her a Bible and said, all you need is faith of a mustard seed. Because the judge was pissed off the whole time. I'm telling you, the whole time defense talking and the whole time defense is having these witnesses, the judge is like this and pissed. So I think the judge hugged her to get forgiveness from God as well, because the judge was over this. And if the judge could have probably sentenced her, it would have been a life. So I see the judge giving her a Bible as a big symbolic thing. And a lot of people on a lot of blogs are like, black people are always forgiving. We always set to forgive. And that's our job, to be forgiveful. And this is coonery if you try to make amends and clear your own heart. Like, this family did this for themselves. They didn't do this for the attention of the public. They don't care about that. They did this for them, for their soul. And if you wanted to do anything for Boham, anybody wants to do anything like that, be more like Boham. Be more like him. That means just saying a kind word to someone, you know, being nice to your fellow man, holding a door for someone, going to church, spreading good words and encouragement to someone. That's what you can do to be more like him and to let his life not be in vain. But to go around saying, oh, their family is coons and all this, how disrespectful to someone that lost their life, to call their families coons. And then after all this went down, they had a church sermon, and the mom said it like this: he hugged her because as Christians, we have to forgive. Does that mean that this is the end and that what was done was right? She said, no. But as Christians, we must forgive. And that's very powerful. I seen a Joel Osteen episode, and he explained where a mother's son, she had only one child, was murdered senseless. It was a senseless murder at a nightclub. And the murderer was convicted of 20 years, went to prison, and the mother just couldn't get over it. And then one day, God told her it's time to forgive. And this lady would write the murderer in jail and try to get a visit. And this dude, year after year, would deny her to be able to come to see him. And then eventually, he let her come. They hugged. And long story short, even when he got out of prison, he actually went to go live with the woman. And they started a foundation. And the foundation that they started is to help victims, the mothers of victims of kids killed in senseless matters. And she said when she learned to forgive him, that God opened up the floodgates, her blessings came again, and that she was able to heal. And I know a lot of times we don't want to forgive people. We don't. But what I've learned from this is I want to be more like Boham. Like, I want to be something. I want my life to mean something. I go to church. I mean, but if you go to church and you can even talk to people and say, wish somebody a good day or good morning or how are you? Like, how much like Christ are you really being? You're not. You're just going to a place for 2 hours out the week and saying, I go to church. Hey, I'm going to heaven. No. What do you do in your everyday life to make an impact? Not what you do in the building. what you do in your everyday life to make an impact. And that's what I got at the end of the trial, because when I tell you, I was hot. I was hot. And then what the family did at the end is what made me say, I need to get my life together. I really need to start acting more Christ-like, more like their family. And I need my family to be more like their family. That's what I learned. And this isn't over. Of course, there are going to be civil suits. There's going to be suits against the apartment complex. There's going to be suits against the people that made the door. It's going to be a lot of suits. It's going to be a civil suit against her, more than likely. It's probably going to be a lot of suits. And I thank God that this time the murderer did not get away. She didn't. She's going to be in prison for maybe, this is Texas, 4 or 5 years. Then after that, I highly doubt all these people that said, oh, she's my friend, will even let her sleep on the couch. Yeah. So I don't wish her no harm or anything to her, because God takes care of all. And he will have your enemies at your footstool. Your enemies will be your footstool. So I'm going to get off here. And I just wanted to share what I learned from the trial, because I was very hot for a while. And I encourage you all to be more like Bohan. I encourage you all, just do one kind thing today. Do one kind thing for someone else. One kind thing. You ain't got to go and give people money and all that and buy their lunch and all that. But do one kind thing. I'm telling you, when I went out for my walk this morning, I normally don't talk to people. I stay to myself and keep my headphones on. But I was good morning, smiling, good morning to all the people I saw. Because I wanted to do at least one good thing today. So definitely, let's start wanting to be better as people. Let's start being better as people, okay? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.